Hi, and welcome to our third video on gradient and another video in the junior relations series. Alright, so far we've been chatting about gradients. The gradient of a line is a number that determines how steep the line is. The larger the number, the steeper the line. In our first gradient video, we looked at positive gradients. Then in our second gradient video, we talked about negative gradients. So we had uphill lines, positive, and downhill negative lines. We're just going to talk about a couple of other extra little important things that are going on here. Remember, gradient is rise over run. Rise represents how far up and down we go, and run represents how far left and right we go. All right, let's look at example 1. This line has a gradient of 0. It's a horizontal line that goes straight across. Now, why is it a gradient of 0? Because I'm going to write it as a fraction, 0 over 1. We spoke about putting whole numbers over 1 and 0 divided by 1, which means that the line does not rise up or down. It doesn't go up or down. It just goes across 1. Well, I didn't have to divide it by 1 really, because 0 divided by 1 is 0. But still, so is 0 divided by 5. That's 0. 0 divided by 10, 0 divided by 100. So if I didn't want to just go across 1, I could have written it as 0 over 100, which means do not rise up or down, but run across 100 squares. And you can see in this situation, we're going to have a horizontal line that goes across and does not go up or down. So a line that has a gradient of 0 is a horizontal line. Right, now we're talking a second scenario. Example 2, the gradient of this line is what we call undefined, which means we don't actually know what it is. We don't have a number that explains this line, this gradient. And let me try and explain why. We know gradient is rise over run. In this line, we are rising whatever you want to rise. You can rise 1 square, you can rise 10 squares, you can rise 100. But we are not running anywhere. We are not going sideways, horizontally. We are rising but not moving sideways. And anytime you try and divide by 0, you get an error. In mathematics, we cannot divide by 0. It's just been around for thousands of years. So, unfortunately, when you have a vertical line like this, we say it's undefined. There is no gradient for this vertical line. So, in mathematics, you cannot divide by 0, so the gradient of a vertical line is defined as undefined. That's the word we use, undefined. All right, so let's see if this diagram, I don't know if you want to pause the video and copy this down into some notes or take a photo on your phone, but this here shows all the types of gradients we've been chatting about. We can have negative gradients, which are downhill. 0 gradients are horizontal lines. We can have positive gradients going uphill. And then we've spoken about these vertical lines straight up, which are called undefined gradients. All right, that's us for gradient. Thank you for watching.